Yoshioka, and today I'll be presenting my business idea called Sequoia, which is an online retailer that sells ethically made and sustainably made clothing for women. So before I begin, I want to ask you a question, which is, have you ever bought an article of clothing just to have it fall apart on you, to tear or to rip in a matter of months or even a couple of weeks? Well, there's a reason for this, and it's called planned obsolescence. So planned obsolescence is a strategy of designing products with a limited lifespan with the intention of making it obsolete after a certain period of time. And planned obsolescence dates back to the 1920s. This is where it started happening. Basically, this company created a light bulb that would last 2,500 hours. And this was a very great thing for consumers, but it wasn't so great for business. So as a way to drive sales, a secret cartel called the Phoebus Cartel, they limited the lifespan of the light bulb from 2,500 hours to 1,000 hours to encourage consumers to keep coming back for replacements. And although this happened over a century ago, this still occurs today, an example being tech giants like Apple and Samsung purposely slowing down phones and limiting battery life to encourage consumers to buy new smartphones. So how does this apply to fashion? Well, fast fashion companies like Forever 21 and H&M purposely make cheap clothing of poor construction or cheap fabrics because they're expecting that these garments are going to break down faster than their lifespan. They also perpetuate the short life cycle even more by turning out new styles every couple of weeks compared to decades before where fashion only came out every couple of months or even like just twice a year. So by churning out these new styles, they're saying that this is what's new, this is what's in, and this is everything that's old. So throw out your old stuff, come and buy the new stuff, and they keep fueling that customer demand. So in this way, there is no point in making a good quality product because why spend the time and spend the money when these big corporations can encourage you to replace your clothing with something new? So why is this important and how does this relate to us? Well, because we're throwing out so much clothes, we're contributing to this growing amount of garment waste. This leads to obviously pollution and a deterioration of our natural environment. Some garments specifically are made out of synthetic fibers like nylon, acrylic, and polyester, which are forms of plastic and therefore they are not biodegradable. Additionally, in order to create garments that are really cheap and to meet such a large demand in such a short time frame, a lot of these companies use sweatshops which employ people to work extremely long hours for very little pay and also in unsafe and hazardous conditions. And I think that as consumers, with clothing is something that we wear on the daily, I think we should view clothing as an investment piece rather than just an easily replaceable commodity, especially because clothing shows part of our history, of our social, cultural, and political state of the world. So I think it's important to preserve clothing for the future. So for my business, the purpose is to provide consumers with highly constructed garments as an alternative to fast fashion to reduce garment waste. I do this by utilizing high quality construction. This is to increase the durability of a product so it lives a lot longer. I'll also be utilizing biodegradable fabrics so that after garments are thrown out, that they can be recycled back into the earth naturally. I'll also be producing locally either in Hawaii or the US for better labor laws and better monitoring. And doing a slower fashion product life cycle, meaning 2 to 4 drops a year maximum. And also be designing classic styles with a twist so that consumers can still have a fashionable, functional piece in their closet, but they can also store in their closet so in the future when these trends have come and gone, they can still wear these garments. And although that my business is nothing new, my intention is merely to support a growing movement of ethical and sustainable manufacturing and give consumers more options in their clothing choices. So this is actually just an example of one of the products I hope to release in